everybody, Zach here from Mythos Pedals, and today on Why I Made This, we've got the Cestus Treble Booster. Just like every other Why I Made This video, we're going to talk about why I made this, what's the sound, who's it for, and are there any caveats. So why did I make this? A few years back, I started working on a project with my friend RJ Ronquillo. RJ wanted a signature pedal called the Cestus. Now, the original version had a clean boost, a modified version of our Herculean overdrive, and a slap echo circuit. But he wanted to revise it and add a treble booster as he had grown fond of that circuit. And I said, I would love to do that, but I want to make it silicon so that it's repeatable, I can find the parts, we're not limited by anything. And he said, sure, let's go for it. So in prototyping that original Cestus circuit, I just threw a silicon transistor in the classic Rangemaster topology, tweaked everything that needed to be tweaked to make that specific transistor work in the circuit in the same arrangement, in the same way, and lo and behold, it sounded great. So after that happened, I thought, it would be really incredible to have this as part of the lineup. And prior to the Cestus, I had made a pedal called the Cestus. Now, the original Cestus was a mini pedal. It was just a clean boost that was not too dissimilar from something like a super hard-on, those sort of circuits. Just really loud, powerful, bright, and punchy. But it never really did a whole lot in the community, and I thought, you know what, that's a great name, and I would love to reintroduce a boost into our lineup, and what's better than a treble booster for something in the Mythos family? So that's what we did. What's the sound? The sound is classic Rangemaster, although it is silicon. So what does that do? That gives this pedal a slightly more aggressive, focused tone that, in my opinion, works better into the front of most amps. Famously, Rangemasters are very bright and really need to be hitting something that's fairly driven to sound like you want it to sound. There is a specific voice that those classic treble boosters have, the Queen thing, the Deep Purple thing, that sort of tone. You can't really get into a clean amp, but oddly enough, putting a silicon transistor into this circuit lets it be a little bit more friendly with those sort of amps, with a cleaner amp, because it's just got more push happening. In addition to that, I wanted to do something similar to what some other boutique Rangemasters have, and that's a input cap selector. Now, an input cap selector is not specific to any one circuit, even though there are some famous treble boosters that have that. This is a classic pedal builder mod, changing out that front cap to increase the amount of low end that is let through the beginning of the circuit. And so what we did is, in the middle, it's classic Rangemaster, really small input cap that shelves a lot of that low end. As you flip it up, you're getting a larger cap, and then down, larger still. So you go from classic bright treble boost to a more mid-forward honky tone to a really fat, full-sounding boost that works really well into a variety of amps. The set control is your output control, which is adjusting the amount of gain as well as the volume. So you get a ton of push when you start to drive this thing. Now, internally, there is bias control. So if you want to tweak how hot or aggressive the circuit is, you can pretty easily. There's test points. So if you want to go in there and measure it and make it your own, it's pretty easy to do that. Now, who's this for? This is for anyone that wants that classic treble boost sound. Now, this thing with its switch and the knob, it seems like it from the outside may be kind of limiting, but it's really not. It covers a huge range of tones. So if that's a sound you've been chasing or interested in, this is a great way to get into it without having to worry about all the shortcomings or problems that those sort of circuits can have when you're doing something germanium. Those are very temperamental. They're kind of finicky and picky with rigs, and this is a little bit too, but it's a little bit more everyman friendly. And one thing that we like about it is that it's repeatable and the units sound fairly consistent from unit to unit, although of course in a circuit of this style there is a lot of variance. Now, are there any caveats? This thing is really sensitive to power. It needs to be really nice isolated power for the quietest operation, as well as it needs to be before any buffers. And you might think this is going to give you those classic Queen, Deep Purple, Tony Iommi, all those really specific treble boost honky tones from the golden era of rock and roll. And it does do that, but not by itself. You have to pair it with another pedal or a push amp. And when you do that, you get some really great sounds. But by itself, it is a really unique little boost that is way different than a clean boost. So that's the Cestus in a nutshell. We're really proud of this thing. It's a really fun circuit that nails all those iconic rock and roll tones that we know and love from yesteryear. So check out the demo. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and thanks for watching, guys. See ya.